Welcome back to 4 Geeks by Geeks, the place where geeks come to geek out. I am Jeff Sitz, your vanguard for vile viscounts wanting vengeance, veritably verbose vocalizations of verbiage, and voids in braining really good. When viewed as a vichyssoise vicissitudes, evokes what we know as Dungeons and Dragons. If you've been with us, or if you've been able to join us so far, you are awesome, and we love you. If you are just joining us on our journey, you're still awesome, and we still love you, but you may want to catch up. All you need to do is look for 4 Geeks by Geeks on YouTube for our video recordings, or look us up wherever you find podcasts. I try to pick mine fresh from the pod tree each morning. Returning this week as our players, we have the virtuous vagrant Lucas, who's venturing as the violently versed Gaia, and his valuably volatile dragon, Nuri. The vaudevillian veteran Boser, who's been voicing Merrick, the vagrant voracious for a variety of volumes, and T, our vociferously venerated variant, who has validated Milos as the valorously versatile victim of voluntary vulnerability. Wow, that one was a hard one for me, I guess.
That's a lot of V's.
A V word.
I think I did.
How do you do this? I don't know. No.
I don't even know that many V words.
I didn't until I wrote them all out like this.
Do you mean that was scripted? How dare you?
I'm sure. Yeah, right. No, I just come up with all of these off the top of my head each day.
Wait, you mean this whole thing isn't live?
But how are you guys doing this week? It's been
a morning.
It's been an evening. It's nighttime.
Oh, sorry.
Lucas.
Yeah, we're totally we're live right
it's
now.
night. Yeah, it's Thursday night,
nighttime.
Lucas. It has been a week for me though. I know I was complaining to you guys yesterday in the private chat about just how strenuous work has been, because I look like a lumberjack and I actually had to drag 100-pound logs and lift them up into a truck for like 4 hours. That was rough, but now I get to just sit back and relax and watch you guys squirm
While we lift 100-foot rocks into a motherfucking truck.
But yeah.
Yeah, how about
So-
that rock though, huh? What happens if I punch it? I cast punch.
It'll punch you back, and I can promise you
You're
it
not-
punches
you're-
harder
you're not
than you
Valor,
do.
You're Merrick. Merrick doesn't punch things.
Well, maybe I do today. I can be... If you can be a dragon boy...
With
so
your
can I.
-1 strength, yeah, I don't think it's going to go too well, bud.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt my own hand.
No, because you can at least deal a minimum of 1 damage, even with all
See,
your penalties.
every bit
If he hits.
If he
Oh, well.
So, yeah, if you weren't here last week, previously on Dungeons and Dragons Ball Z, Milos helped track the way to a small island of shipwrecks, hoping to use whatever they could scavenge from the wreckages to resupply their own dwindling stock. Once upon the island, our adventurers, with a little help from the dwarf Obit, made some quick work of a
Obit?
group of undead, and made their way to the peak of the island to get a bird's eye view of the cove holding all the wrecks. To their dismay, a giant bird, a roc, decaying and undead, appeared over the ridge and nested on the overhang above, not seeming to see them yet, but at the same time, more undead started making their way out of the woods directly towards our group. And I do want to... I try not to do this, but I am going to retcon just one little detail.
How dare you? Unacceptable.
I know.
The rock is a canary.
It's
You
a
wish.
raven. It's Odin,
This
jackass.
Odin
It's
grew to
You
Odin
messed
grew
up
to
the
200
callback.
feet. But no. The rock, when it appeared over the
What's he
ridge,
cooking?
was carrying an entire ship
Oh,
in its
is,
claws.
is that our ship?
No, it's not your ship.
Is that our
It's not your ship. But the ship itself is still somewhat, it's still
We
pretty
get a
much
flying
in one
spaceship
piece.
fight?
The ship itself is pretty much in one piece still, but the roc has it gripped in its talons as it comes over the ridge, and before it lands on its nest, it drops the ship like the 200 feet down into the cove, and then settles in the nest.
Oh.
So
And-
now you understand where all these ships came from.
And does it appear like it's a new ship, or it's already like a shipwrecked ship that it picked up? Like, can we tell that from where we're at?
Give me a
I got an eye for detail.
perception check. Will be lower. Investigation check will be higher, but you'll probably get more as far as the DC goes. But the investigation check will also give you more information.
But I can't investigate it, can I? I can only look at it.
That's why I'm saying, like, from here, it's going to be a much higher DC than the perception check. So you can do whichever one you want.
Sounds like I want to do a perception check.
Okay.
14.
14. Hard to tell. Looking it over, like, especially at this point, now that it's just dropped and 200 feet, it looks
Now it's a
pretty
shipwreck.
bashed. Yeah, now it's a shipwreck and it looks pretty bashed to pieces.
Okay.
As I said, as it was carrying it, as it was flying, the ship seemed to be in pretty much one piece still. But it's hard to tell exactly how long it's been a shipwreck.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a big bird.
You should keep your voice down.
Because y'all are hiding in just on the edge of the forest right now. You've got the like 2 foot tall grasses in front of you, and you've got the zombies behind you, or the undead coming in from behind you deeper in the forest. It doesn't seem like either the roc or the undead have seen you yet, but it's only moments before one or the other does. What would you like to do?
Milos is gonna hide because fuck the rest of y'all. I'm gonna be honest, guys. There's no way in hell we can take that bird.
You know, it'd be a shame if somebody just ran away.
Just saying, I think we should all run away.
Yeah, but I'd be running away a lot faster.
It'd
That's
be a
fine.
shame if somebody just became invisible.
Where do we think the best place to run away might
you're
be?
still here.
Yeah, sorry. Because we could still make our way down the cliffside there. I know
Oh,
we
it
kinda
does have a
be-
point. We could probably scale along and avoid both of these problems.
It does seem like with the overhang where it is, we might be able just to go underneath the rock without it being
And without a second thought, Milos is going to start making his way to enact that plan.
All right, give me a stealth check as you crawl your way through the grass.
I said we.
He didn't say stealthy. He's gonna stomp.
That's a fucking nat 20. So
Nice.
24.
Hey,
All right, 24.
we can't
So,
even
yeah.
see him.
Stealth's not even my strong shit. I'm not even proficient in stealth as a rogue.
Nope, you're not. That's why you only have a +4. And so you start like crawling along on your hands and feet, like doing a bear crawl through the grass slowly. And the rest of you, you're looking out, and like you see the rustling of the foliage and the bushes behind you of the undead coming. You look back to where Milos was, and the only giveaway is a slight rustle in the grass.
I'm gonna get down and I'm just gonna try to follow his.
I don't even think you have to get down. I'm pretty sure we said you could just crouch just a little bit.
I'm
The
gonna
grass would be
crouch
taller
another
than
6
you.
inches.
But yeah, give me a stealth check as well.
Milos, I'm coming. Wait for me. Oh. 7.
Ooh.
7.
I'm shouting. Milos, wait for me!
Gaia, are you also moving forward?
after
me,
Snakey.
I'm gonna be the last one. I'm gonna have
Gonna tackle the child, hopefully.
everyone go ahead of me, and I'm gonna like.
Just
I'll be
Kermit
la-
running.
Guy is gonna be the last one to go. I will send Nuri out there though.
Okay. So yeah, give me a stealth check for Nuri.
That's Another natural 20.
Yeah. So as you
20?
start, like, what's the total for that?
I can't turn it enough. It's not.
Also, we can't see that.
It's not clear enough.
It's a white thing with some black things on it.
And red.
I've
things.
seen that video.
Whoa. So that'd be. I'm trying to think of what. Add to that. It's just Dex, right?
Yeah.
And proficiency, so it'd be 21.
Nice. All right. So yeah, Merrick, as you go running out, like, you know, essentially Kermit running, or Kermit running. Nuri comes from behind and tackles you to the ground. Gently, like, doesn't slam your face into the ground, but like tackles you to the ground, kind of rolls.
Shut
with
up, bitch.
As Obit comes up next to you, like, he's also not crawling, he's just squatted as he's doing like a horse squat, essentially, like the karate horse stance squat. So he's just like legs wide and just waddling, still his thumbs tucked into his overalls. Just,
God, use your hands.
God, he is.
and he just comes past you and goes, Merrick, we got to be quiet because we don't want that big rooster to come down and fuck us up. And continues waddling past you.
Don't want to fuck us up. Sorry.
So with that, the four of you make your way to the cliffside, keeping low. There's like a 5-foot wide area where like it's just a rocky outcrop. The grass is too sparse to really provide any cover, so that's where you gotta be to tie off the rope and everything. But doing that, peek out to the edge. Milos, you at the lead. You see the rock there. And it seems to not be paying attention in this direction.
Rocks don't.
Can
seems-
I use eye for detail to see if it has any identifying triggers that I would know, like, before, like, look this direction? Just kind of like study him for a moment to see if he's on like a typical bird watching look or if he's doing something.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Plus 8. 14, 8, 22.
Oh, hell yeah. It seems like it is cleaning itself right now.
All right.
It
So
seems
now
like it
it's
just
time.
came. It seems like it just came back from a long flight. It set down its prey and is currently taking the time to preen and clean itself after a long flight.
All right,
so
guys,
you see
we
it
do
like
this
kind
fast and quiet.
of head tucked into one of its wings, and you can see it like picking at some of the dirt or decaying flesh that is coming off of it.
Do I need to make a roll to tie off the rope?
Yeah, give me a.
Survival.
It's gonna be. No, are you? So this is where I really like doing the alternate ability or skill checks. It's gonna be sleight of hand,
Okay.
but instead of dexterity, it's gonna be intelligence. And so just whatever your sleight of hand bonus is, subtract your dexterity bonus, add in your intelligence bonus.
So from plus 11 to plus 9. That's okay. That's 11, 9, dirty 20.
Oh, hell yeah. So you tie off a nice little knot, tied off, cinched. You don't. That's not going anywhere.
This is what I do professionally, boys.
Oh my, plus 11, plus 9? I don't have any of those kind of stats.
Well, it's plus 11 minus 2 because that's the difference between my dex and my intelligence.
But, oh my god.
My sleight,
I
my
rolled like
sleight
shit,
of
I
hand
guess.
and my investigation, perception, and acrobatics, I'm double proficient in.
Yeah.
I'm
So
an
he gets
expert
to
in
add
those.
what, 10 at this point?
Yeah. Expertise, my boy.
Its expertise is really nice. But yeah, so you've got a rope tied off. It's about you had a couple of lengths tied together from Obit already, so I'll say that you've got about 100 feet of rope right now that you can climb down.
Cool.
If you've got any more rope
some
that you'd
rope.
like to
I have
tie
some rope.
off, you can make it 150 feet, but it's up to you on how far
Yeah, I was
you
gonna say
want to try and
Milos
climb each
provided
time.
2. Obit provided 2.
I have one.
Obit only had the chance to tie 2 ropes together, so
Okay,
you've got
gotcha.
100 feet right now.
Okay.
Because each length is 50 feet.
Gotcha.
And so if you want to tie off some more, you can. It's just going to take some checks real quick.
Yeah, we probably should. Milos will go ahead and
so we don't know.
keep the charge on that.
Okay. Gaia, you are the last one to leave, and as you are staying behind, I do need a stealth check from you as well, as the undead are making their way closer.
15. That's an 18. I don't think I have anything to help with this.
And these zombies, these undead, were as the first group that you came across. You know, there were primarily the undead limbs that were trying to drag you all down into the ground, and then there was the one zombie that seemed very floppy because it had something wrong with its back as it kept flopping from side to side at awkward angles. These ones are less like that, less floppy, less sloppy, and each of their movements has weird clicking and jerking to it. Think the zombies from The Last of Us.
No thanks. Hard
And
pass. We're getting the fuck out of here.
And Gaia, as they come closer and closer, you hear a strange clicking sound with every movement.
Hello, Tomas. I know you can't hear me, but I see you.
Hey, what are you eating? What are you eating?
Oh, glad I said something.
Hold on a second.
Run!
Cool. We're back. Welcome back. Sorry about that. Gaia, we've got the zombies, or you've got the undead coming up behind you, and you hear a strange clicking with each movement that they do. What are you doing? What's the stealth check that
18.
I needed from you? 18? Alright. Cool. Doesn't seem like they've noticed you yet. Yeah. Doesn't seem like they've noticed you yet. But that clicking is unnerving and worrying to you. Because it's... You hear it, like you've got really good senses, and your passive perception, like everyone else in this group, is off the fucking charts.
So
And
we all hear this clicking.
Gaia only does because he's close to them. But this clicking kind of reverberates through the forest.
They're communicating.
More like echolocating.
So yeah, what do you do?
I'm gonna stay here
Okay.
as like a vanguard. I'm going to use a bonus action to invoke Zephyr Strike,
Okay.
and then I'm going to hold my action to dash in the direction of the cliff.
What's the trigger for that?
The action will be the first attack to me. Like if so,
Okay.
if somebody's gonna,
If one
if
of them
one of them
notices you
find
and
me
starts
and
moving
like is
you,
gonna come smack me, I'm gonna dash.
you got it.
Sometimes on 4 Geeks by Geeks, we do actual D&D things.
Yeah.
Not
All right.
often.
With that then, Milos, you've got the length of rope in your hand. You've got the end that is not tied off.
Milos has scaled plenty of buildings in his life, so I feel like he would have a good sense of how much would be needed here. Can I make a check to see how much rope would be advised for this trip?
Depends on how far down you want to go. Are you? Because if you're trying to get down to the base of the cliff,
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there a cave system?
there's a couple of caves and ledges that you
werewolves.
can get to. Who was it? I'll say that whoever noticed it pointed it out to the rest of you, because I think Gaia noticed it.
I
But
believe so.
there was there were a couple of caves. Doesn't seem like they're that big. A couple of ledges that people can rest on, but there was one in particular where it didn't. There was the lichen.
Yeah, they're like
The lichen and ivy growing over a cave entrance, and it looked like it was specifically set up to hide a cave.
And that's
'Cause you didn't notice-
closer than the shore would be, correct?
Yes, it's a
Yeah,
little bit.
Milos would
it's
be going
further,
towards that then, because that would be a quicker out from this circumstance.
I will say that one is directly underneath the overhang.
That's fine.
Like,
It's underneath.
a couple 100 feet below, but directly underneath. So you'd have to climb your way over to that.
Doesn't bother me. Those none.
But it
Merrick's
is
going on
higher
his back.
up.
Obit
It's
will
about
figure it
like
out.
70 feet up from the coast, from the beach below.
Okay, yeah. That's the direction Milos is taking it. So Milos is going to tie off the appropriate amount of rope to be able to get to adequately get there safely.
You aren't going to be able to get over to that one directly.
Okay.
Unless you wanted to go over to where the nest is and climb down from there.
So
you're going
it would be easier to go shoreline, come over, and then climb up to the cave.
It'd
Or
be easier.
do some rock climbing.
Yeah, do some rock climbing from ledge to ledge. Because, again, there's plenty of ledges that you could climb down to and make your way over. So
Okay.
I'd say 100 foot of rope, if you're willing to take it in segments and chunks,
Okay, then yeah.
probably going to be your best
That's
bet.
what we're doing. Obit, how good at you at climbing?
Well, I'm good at everything, so I'm going to say great.
All right, Merrick, get on my back.
I know what kind of bard
Okay.
he is.
If we fall, I can save you.
All right, perfect. Let's go, bud.
Not just me this time.
Hey, remember the last time someone said they were great at climbing?
No.
No.
Okay.
Out of sight, out
Then-
of mind.
Y'all start climbing down the side of the cliff. Gaia, you notice them going over the edge. And
I use intricate hand signs
They're-
to let Gaia
they're-
know we're moving.
So you're telling me they're beyond the edge?
Yeah, they are beyond the edge of the cliff. And as you notice that, you also hear a breathy, not quite a screech, but a breathy, high-pitched sound from behind you as all of the clicks synchronize. And so it goes from, like,
Not
just...
good.
The ritual has begun.
and just echoing through the forest to...
Run away.
and you hear a... as you look over your shoulder and one of the undead has noticed you and starts racing towards you as the rest all turn and look in that direction. But you notice that none of them have eyes. All of them have some strange coral growths across their head and down their body. Most of it covering whatever facial features these people may have had in life.
Rip
And as
the
that
homies
one
for real,
turns-
for real. On God.
As that
For real.
As that one turns
No
and
cap.
screams in your direction, you see it drop to the ground and scurry towards you on all
I
fours.
hate that.
So, what are you doing? I mean, you've got your ready to action, so you can absolutely dash, but it's also back around to your turn, so...
So, yeah, I'm gonna. You said there's one like behind me.
Well, behind you if you are facing the cliffside.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll use my nice little extra boost in speed and my ability to not take opportunity attacks. And I will.
It's not close enough to make an opportunity attack. It
You
just
never know if
noticed
something's
you.
waiting for me in the bush.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
I don't know how sneaky you're being.
He said, "Fuck you, Jeff Sitz."
I'm
We've been
I'm watching
friends
out
long
for me.
No, I dig it.
And I'm gonna dash my way on over to where we're going, and I'm gonna peer down.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody on this first set of rope?
That's a good point. Can those of you making climbing checks give me an athletics check? Merrick, you are just holding on to Milos.
Like a
All right.
squirrel.
Milos, give me give me an athletics check with disadvantage.
He's like, I don't know if it should be like full disadvantage.
Do a half disadvantage.
That's all right. That's a 19.
Roll another half die.
So yeah, you are climbing down. You see the ledge that you need to get to first, and you're just like, yeah, this is it.
I
We
feel like
got
Milos
this.
has carried an equal amount of thefted or
Goods. Liberated
not-
items.
He doesn't thieve liberated items that weigh equal to Merrick.
However, above you, you hear Obit just go, oh shit, and then drop past you.
That son of a bitch.
How far does he fall past us?
I'd say like 10 feet, and then you hear him casting, like you hear him chanting something as he's falling past, and he pulls out a small down pillow from his pouch, rips it open, and you see him slowly start to descend, rather than at the speed that would, kill him.
I asked if you were good at climbing.
And I am. That rope is just shitty to hold on to, as he's still got his thumbs tucked into his overalls, and it's just kind of floating head over heels.
He doesn't even take his thumbs out to catch a rope. That's why he fell. He wasn't even use his hands.
All legs all day.
And you see him slowly alight onto the ledge below that you were climbing down to.
Oh, why don't we just do that? We should just let go.
He's straight up just Mary Poppins that.
He pulled an Alec.
But yeah, Gaia, looking down, you've still got Milos and Merrick on that first length of rope, but they are making their way down. I mean, you can only climb at 15 feet per round, so they're about 15 feet down.
You wanna bet? I got a climbing speed.
Yeah, you got a climbing speed, so.
Man, I was really wanting to cut the rope.
Why?
That's fine. We have Featherfall.
I don't want things following us.
Can
I don't
zombies
think
climb
zombies are
ropes?
capable of
How-
climbing ropes.
Look, they're capable of seeing without eyes. I think they could maybe
Give us a
figure it
heads
out.
up. We got it.
This is high fantasy. They can't climb a rope.
You hear the rock screech, peek its head up, and look in the opposite direction of where you are. And then go back to preening.
I'm not gonna cut the rope. I'm just gonna take the rope. I'm gonna kick off and do a nice belay down, and then I'm gonna start climbing.
All right. Give me. You don't even need to make an athletics check because you've got a climbing speed.
I got a climbing speed at 35 feet. What's up?
Yeah. So
Damn.
you catch up to
Knock
Milos
us
and
off.
Merrick. Yeah. You catch up to Milos and Merrick as they're only 15 feet down. And I'm gonna say I'll just take the one athletics check, but it takes you like, 30 seconds, 40 seconds or so to get down to the ledge that
That's fine.
Obit is on. And
The
Gaia,
child is safe. My job is complete.
You know, your job's not done yet.
Gaia, you look up and you see the zombies, the clickers, up at the top of
Don't
the
like that.
ridge, looking around. And there's 3 of them up there, just. And they look directly down at where you are. And one of them leans forward, slams its fingernails into the rock side,
Yep, don't like that.
and they slowly start crawling head down towards you along the cliff face.
Don't like that.
Vertically?
Vertically.
Nope. They're Spider-Manning down the cliff.
Hey,
It's slow. They're only
This
moving
is some
like
bullshit.
even with you climbing
Is
down
it stone
Milos.
or is there like
is stone.
dirt?
No, it is stone,
never
and you
mind. My plan won't work then.
can see that it's like with every grip they are like breaking their finger bones into the rock. And
You
so
just said
they
they're
are
breaking
making
their fingers.
Yep.
So all right, no takebacks.
And so they're like jamming broken shards of bone into the rock with every
So that means bone is being left
Sorry.
behind. So their hands are getting smaller and smaller the more they climb.
And so, Gaia, as you look up and see this, you realize, like, Milos is still making, putting distance between the two of you, because Milos climbing is still faster than these clickers climbing down the cliff face.
and I'm over here, like, zooming around.
I mean,
No, you're stuck
if you
above
want to
us,
try,
like a
yeah, you're stuck
traffic
above
jam.
them. Unless you want to try and, I mean, I guess you could just get off the rope and start
Okay.
climbing along the cliff.
I can free climb.
Yeah.
I just love the idea of a water gymnast. He's like, yeah, rock climbing, no big deal.
So
I
I mean, if that's what you're doing, yeah, you rush past them, like, hey guys, as you're just free
Why aren't
climbing
you carrying
down
the
cliff.
kid?
I was
Really good at climbing.
I was watching out. Sorry.
But you all get down to the next ridge. You've got the 100 feet of rope above you, and you've got the clickers about 75 feet above you.
So, can I have Nuri take a pass at them? She has,
Sure.
She has a flying speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, she's able to grapple.
Okay.
I'm wondering if I can see about getting her to yank one of these things off. And drop
Yeah,
it.
I will absolutely allow her to do basically a shove attack action, and so give me an athletics check.
Come on. Ooh,
I'll
that's
even
good.
say that this is at disadvantage for them since they are trying to
This is
climb.
good. This is good. Strength is a +3.
Nice.
What? For Nuri?
So that's a dirty 20.
Damn.
Yeah, that's
Respect, Nuri.
That's a 13 plus 3 for a 16 for the clicker. And Nuri swipes, like, takes off, flies up, and just, you see Nuri, like, dive bomb, grab one of the clickers with her hind claws, and just, like, swing it off the cliffside. And you just hear it, like, as it's tumbling past you. It slams against the ledge next to you and then goes tumbling all the way down to the beach below.
In a pile of bones.
Yes.
Pile of calcified flesh.
So,
So,
we're on
like-
the ledge, and there's...
Yep.
And how far is the cave from us now?
So the cave is about 30 feet below where you are at this point, but still a good, probably like 80 feet off along the cliffside. So 80 feet over, 30 feet down.
Mathematically speaking, that sounds jumpable.
No.
Not for me.
No.
I was gonna throw you.
You don't.
I'm not going
you
to-
don't throw the dwarf.
Shot put him.
No, ma. Watch your
Obit's
whore
like
mouth.
Obit's looking through his pack and like, well, I got an idea. Do we have any more rope?
I have some rope.
All right. Do we have another length?
I have rope too.
Can I have it?
Yes.
All right.
I'm just like
And so
bare
Obit
knuckling it. Like, here you go, buddy.
Obit ties together the two ropes, ties one end of the rope to a crossbow bolt, and pulls back the pin on his heavy crossbow.
Yeah, that was my plan.
I've got an idea here. Make sure you hold on to the other end of that rope for just a second here. And
Who's holding on to the other end of the rope?
Not me. I'm holding on to you.
Not me.
I'll hold on to the other end.
all
of
right,
the rope.
you pick
That-
up the other end of the rope.
I was waiting for
and
Jeff. She's like, nobody was holding on to it.
Obit lifts up the crossbow, fires, and you see the crossbow bolt soar across the opening and pin itself into the rock wall just to the right of the cave. And he just goes, dang, I was hoping I could get just above it, then we could just have a nice little drop down into the cave. This is gonna be a little bit of finagling, but here. And he takes a python and a hammer out, hammers it into the rock wall next to you, and takes the rope from you, Milos. Or just can you tie that off right there?
Yeah.
Alright. Pull it taut. Nice and taut, alright?
I've done this a time or two.
Underwater?
And so, go ahead and just give me another knot tying check like before. Sleight of hand, but intelligence instead of dex.
18 plus 9 makes 27.
Hell yeah. Alright, so yeah, that knot is going nowhere. So you've got the rope hanging down from above. You've got this rope stretched taut from where you are down just offset from the cave. So getting off the rope down below is going to take a little bit of a swing and a jump. But now you've got a zip line, essentially, going down.
Milos' favorite.
Well, who would like to go
Dibs.
first?
I got it. You ready? You ready, Merrick?
I'm ready.
And can
So,
we
yeah.
flavor text it that I use my cutlass like Jack Sparrow?
Sure.
Neat.
Yeah.
As you tear up the rope and it cuts
No,
it.
obviously, you would use
I'm
the
ass-
backside of it,
Yeah,
not the
I'm
sharp
assuming
side.
he's using the back side of it, and like he's wrapping leather around
Exactly.
the blade itself so he can grab onto it. So yeah, go
Jeff
ahead
gets
and
me.
this.
You just take one jump, snap.
Sorry, what was
Give
I
me-
rolling?
Give me either athletics or acrobatics. Let me know which one it is because.
Acrobatics.
All right.
It's a Jack Sparrow check.
That's only a 12, but that's plus 10, so that's a 22.
Oh, okay. There you go. Glad you got that plus 10 because you slide down.
Side numbers, baby.
And you realize that with it being a sword, you've got a lot of play, and you keep like wobbling back and forth. Merrick, you managed to hold on.
Milos is giddy the whole time we're sliding back and forth,
It
though.
is terrifying the entire ride for you, Merrick. But yeah, Milos, you're like sliding back and forth on the spine of the blade because you left like a good foot and a half for the rope to play on. You're just
That
like,
was
this was a
intentional.
mistake, but oh well.
It was intentional.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you get down to the bottom, and you actually time it well enough where you slide over to this side, away from the cliff, or away from the cave, and then slide back and leap. Give me a dex saving throw, both of you.
Plus 7.
Milos, I'm going to say yours is at disadvantage since Merrick is still...
724.
7.
I'm going to say yours is at disadvantage, Milos, because you're carrying Merrick on your back.
That's a nat 20, so it's still a 24.
All right.
7.
Rolling hot. Not rolling hot.
So, Milos, you land 3-point landing. Merrick, you are not expecting the sudden stop, so you get launched over Milos's back and tumble through the curtain of ivy and
Of werewolves.
moss. Yeah, and hanging werewolves. You get launched through the curtain and go tumbling. You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Gotta be more prepared, kid.
He's actually.
Who's next?
Sorry.
Obit is still there on the cliffside. The zombies are still, the clickers are still making their way down.
Walking
they're-
fast, faces
Yeah.
past, and they're homebound.
They're about 60 feet away from you right now.
I'm gonna tell Obit to go.
You and every critter.
All right.
Can't continue last.
And he pulls out what looks like a hand whisk with the crank on it, something akin to that. Pulls it out of his backpack and just goes and like connects it to the rope. Goes, I will see you down there, friend. Hops off and just zzz. And then his dex saving throw. Oh, yeah, he's coming down, and Milos, you realize that he's coming a little too fast.
Shocker.
But as he gets like 15 feet away, he starts cranking the item in his hand and slows down to a stop. Just where it's like closest to the cave ledge that you are waiting on, Milos. And you see him just kind of go 1 and a 2 and the object that he's holding on to, the handle there, releases from the rope, and he lands right in front of you on the edge of
Can
the
I
ledge.
reach out to grab him?
Yeah, he goes
Grab his
goes
beard.
forward, starts to fall back, and you grab onto his beard, pull him in, and he's like, ha 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 ha.
You don't play
you
test
kindly.
these inventions very often, do you?
I've never had the chance to with this one.
You
This
did great.
was
And I
a-
give him a high five. Or high
He falls off the
4.
ledge.
And so, Gaia, you are the last one there. The clickers are about 50 feet away from you right now.
Can I fire a crossbow bolt at them?
Yeah, it's going to be at disadvantage just because of the range, but yeah, go ahead.
I just want to make sure Gaia has the time to. 10 plus 17.
17. Yeah, that hits.
Cool.
Go ahead and roll damage for me.
7 points of piercing.
You see as you impact into one of them, it doesn't stick in like you were hoping. It hits and kind of shatters, and you see chunks and pieces of hardened flesh explode off of this clicker, but it's enough to make one of its arms go limp as it's trying to crawl forward with it, and it scrabbles trying to get another grip and tumbles down.
Perfect.
Slamming against the ledge next to you, Gaia, and it's trying to scramble and get a grip on the edge of the ledge that you are standing on.
Kick it.
Oh yeah, that's an easy kick.
Yeah, you just kind of put your foot up on its head and push, and the thing falls backwards trying to grab onto something and scatters across the rocks below.
All right. I'm going to. Do I want to cut the rope? I'm gonna. Yeah. We'll do that. I'm gonna cut the rope and swing a swing.
Oh man.
And I understand that the distance is not exactly great, but I plan on hitting the rock ledge and climbing my way back, the rest of the way up.
The rope itself.
He goes
You
mid-swing and the knot comes loose and just...
No, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you this because you would notice this. The rope length is longer than the drop from the cave that you were getting to and the bottom. So, if you grab onto the edge, cut the rope, and swing out, you're just going to hit the waves below.
Oh, so I would... Okay.
So you would have to climb
unless
a
you
little
choke
bit
up.
and then cut.
Yeah.
Because it's
Or you
the
can
rope
just
length.
zip line.
Rope length is about...
I knew no matter what, I'd have to do some climbing, but if I'm going to hit the waves, then no.
Yeah, the rope itself is almost it's not quite 100 feet. It's closer to 90, 80. But the drop from the cave is only about 70, 75 feet up from the beach.
Well-
Zip line and then cut.
Yeah, do that. It'd be way cooler.
I'll just, instead of a sword, I'll just bow zipline.
Ooh, okay.
All right, green arrow.
Yeah.
I got it. I might as well use it.
So yeah, you throw your bow around it, grab on, and go ahead and give me either athletics or acrobatics.
That is a 15 acrobatics.
All right, it's enough. You make it down there, or you're making your way towards the cave itself. You're still on the zip line. Give me you managed to throw yourself off the zip line well enough to make it towards the cave. Go ahead and give me a dex saving throw.
That would be a 25.
So yeah, you throw yourself off, and actually the way you swing off, you manage to do a backflip and just land perfectly on your feet in front of Milos.
Proficient in climbing.
But you've got the zip line up there. It's about 10-15 feet above y'all right now. And Merrick, as you are brushing yourself off, in the
what do I
cave,
see
brushing
in
yourself
there?
off, looking around, the first thing that strikes you is that you can see clearly, and you don't need to rely on your dark vision. There is light in this cave. You can't see the source of it right now. It just seems like it's coming from around the corner, but the cave itself is just reflecting the light off the walls enough where you can still see pretty clearly throughout here. And you hear... You've got a pretty high passive perception.
It's
So
a
let me
20.
do something. It's a 20?
Yeah.
Got a pretty high.
It's pretty high, I
It's
guess.
pretty high.
Okay, so another thing that strikes you is that you don't smell smoke or hear the crackling of flames,
But I see a light around the corner.
but you see a light around the corner.
How far is this bend?
You've got about 10 feet in front of you. You're 5-10 feet away from the curtain behind you. It goes on about 10 feet, 15 feet, curves around to the left. You don't see any moving shadows on the wall, or like the light isn't just still. It's not like a light bulb. It's slightly pulsing, very
So it's not
slightly.
like flickering like a flame would. It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
pulsating. Okay. Interesting.
But you don't see movement in the shadows on the wall.
I'm just gonna poke my head back out the werewolves and be like, y'all, if you just tuned in, there's not real werewolf. It's a carryover joke from last week.
Yeah, it's
And
Boser
poke my
didn't. I said lichen, and because we're in fantasy, Boser was just like, yeah, werewolves, lichen.
That tracks.
I've seen Underworld. It's where I learned the term. Thanks. Kate, what is her name? Kate Blanchett? No.
Kate Beckinsale.
Beckinsale. Dang Kates and bees. So I
But
poked my
anyway.
head back out. I think there's someone in here.
Yeah, hold off then. You do not go in there alone. And
Can you-
Milos is gonna pull his cutlass and walk ahead of Merrick.
All right, with that, gotta go take care of something again real quick, so very sorry. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that little pause, but making your way into the cave, the rest of you push aside the curtain, and you see the same thing. A gentle, it's not a red, it's not firelight, clearly. It's not flickering like firelight. You don't smell the smoke. You don't hear the crackling of fire. It's also not the same like red-orange color. It's more of a white, like a bright white or yellowish white glow that's coming from around the corner. So the rest of you come in and you see this glowing. It's slightly like pulsating, very slowly. Comes in and like over the course of 10 seconds fades slightly. Over the course of 10 seconds brightens slightly.
I'm just gonna scoot behind Milos.
Yeah. Milos is gonna lead the way, cutlass in one hand, dagger in the second.
Obit pulls out his crossbow, loads another bolt in there, pulls the
Do
pin.
not shoot me.
I will try my darndest not to. Holds it up.
Shoots. Milos.
Gets
Yeah,
startled.
Milos is gonna turn the corner and see what's on the other side.
Gaia, you taking up the rear?
Yep.
All right.
Vanguard.
Where's Nuri?
She'd probably.
Oh, where is Nuri?
She'd probably be up there with.
On your shoulder.
No.
Like,
Obviously.
Not anymore.
She's a little
just
too
like
big
Barrett
now.
is.
You're a little too big now. He's getting a
But
little
yeah.
too big now.
Nuri keep in the back with you or going up front with Milos?
Probably
It's
somewhere.
not that's not terrifying.
Somewhere in the middle.
Okay. So Milos, going around the corner, you see a cave system with little mushrooms and moss growing along the wall that's giving off bioluminescence.
Pandora.
And you can see that that's where the fading is coming from, because they're all kind of like they all kind of have their own pattern of fading and brightening, but just with the vast, like an entire wall is covered in this glowing moss. There's several patches along the ground where these growing mushrooms are. There's some mushrooms growing from the ceiling above, and then patches on the other wall. And so just the fact that all of this is so covered in this bioluminescent fungi, as a collective, it's got a very slow build-up and a very slow fade out.
So that's all we see is the moss and the mushrooms. We don't see like any person or whatever, right?
You don't see any person ahead. You see that the cave kind of curves off to the right. Go ahead and give me a perception check. I'll allow all of you who are keeping an eye out for this. Gaia, if you're keeping an eye out for the rear, this will primarily be if anything is coming up from behind.
24.
18.
I don't perceive shit.
Milos?
What mushrooms?
Merrick, you are taken aback by all of this fungi. Like, it's very easy. Like it brightens up the room to the point where it's like a regular light. You can see everything. There is no dark pocket in the room for someone to hide in. But you don't see any signs of life or habitation. Milos, you do see in
A monster in the corner.
in the dry, sandy dirt along the cave floor, footsteps or indents in the sand going around the corner ahead that you can only guess is footsteps. Bipedal.
Do they appear to be normal footsteps or footsteps that one leg is dragging like we've been seeing?
You'd have to get closer because they are on the opposite side of this.
Oh, yeah.
Of
100%
where you just turn
chance
around.
Milos is investigating this shit.
And so walking forward, you do also see that where the footsteps came from, there's a larger imprint, circular, and several smaller ones around it.
And before Milos gets too far, he's going to turn back to American Gaia. We do not split up. We do not talk about personal issues right now. That handle is back on the ship. Are we understood?
Okay, as I'm just walking over to a mushroom to...
And I grab him.
Obit is walking over to a mushroom.
I just want to see one.
You don't touch first.
Obit's looking it over and just... Well, I mean, I don't know the name of these particular mushrooms, but I do not believe that they are dangerous to touch. Don't eat them now. Looking directly at you, Merrick. Don't eat them.
And that's why I grabbed him.
These are not for stew.
Do you want to help me collect some of this as components for some sort of potential spell, or possibly
That you can do.
something we can turn into alchemical production? And so
I want to
Merrick-
pick one and see if it keeps its glow after it gets picked.
you pick one, and it's similar. You pick one mushroom, and yeah, it's still glowing in the immediate aftermath.
But then it starts to fade.
You're not sure. You'd have to wait a little. Like, it doesn't fade in like the first 5-10 seconds.
Okay.
Milos, you are moving over towards the indent that you see in the ground and the footsteps leading off.
I am going to ask for Gaia's assistance.
Okay. So, Guy, you can.
You
push
should probably
past
look
if
into
you
this
want.
with me. You're the tracker.
I'll leave kind of Nuri towards the back. Then I'll she's head her in the middle, and I'll just tell her to watch out, and then I'm gonna go and help them.
Okay. So yeah,
And I'm
go ahead
collecting
and
as
give
much
me.
moss and mushrooms in the meantime as I can.
Nice.
Sure.
With the footsteps and the indents in the ground, what are you trying to?
Trying to
What are you trying to
ascertain
do?
what it is.
What it is? Go ahead and give
Where
me an
it's going.
Those are two different things.
Yeah, what it is probably going to be the first question.
Investigation.
That is +8.
And then Merrick, to
21.
gather as much as you can of this glowing moss and mushrooms. Go ahead and give me, I would say, either a nature check to try and get it off the rock face without damaging it as much as possible, or just a straight dexterity check to try and get it, either a nature check to try and know where to pull it by the structure of the plant, or just a dex check to try and just be very careful in pulling it off.
I'll do a nature.
Okay.
So it's a 12.
12 nature. All right, I'll get back to you because you and Obit are actually, Obit is helping you, so I'll allow you to do that at advantage. But we'll get back to you. Just hold on to that number.
Okay.
Milos, as you're looking around, Gaia, are you doing a separate check, or are you just aiding Milos in his?
I'm going to be trying to ascertain where it went from and where it originated from.
So for that, go ahead and give me a survival check. Milos, what was your investigation check?
21.
21. With that, you realize that it was someone sitting down. That's what the big indent is
Okay.
someone or something sitting down.
Some ass cheeks.
It's not it's difficult to figure out what the smaller imprints were around the person sitting down. So it's hard to tell if it was little creatures. They're significantly smaller. Some are about the same size as the footsteps. Some are a little bit smaller than the footstep imprints. But they're kind of situated around where the person was sitting. So it's hard to tell if it was creatures, objects. You don't know.
But there is a track leading from there, right?
There is a track leading from there. And it seems like the person hurriedly gathered up whatever was around them and ran as quickly as they could.
Tumbling through.
Right. And so, Gaia, what was your survival check to track?
23.
23. Very easy to follow these tracks. The person, whoever they were, is not someone who is... They were very clearly not trying to hide their tracks. It's just, it can be hard to follow tracks through sand. But you zero in on this. It's almost as if you can... It's almost as if you can smell the residual odors that the person left behind, and you can use that along with the footsteps to follow deeper into the caves if you wanted to. Merrick, what was your total roll?
15.
15? So yeah, you notice that if you try and scrape off the moss with a knife, you have to be very careful with the angle, but you can scrape off some of the moss and it maintains its glow, whereas if you cut it and damage it, it starts to fade. And so the moss itself managed to scrape off and put into an empty jar. And then some of the mushrooms as well. You realize that as you cut them, if you just cut the stem off, or as you pulled one out where it breaks, starts to fade. Doesn't glow, and it's very slow, but slowly starts to climb up across the entire mushroom. You feel like it would take a good 5-10 minutes or so at least for it to completely stop glowing. But if you damage it like that, the bioluminescent qualities start to fade.
Okay.
But using some tools and instruments, especially with your small nimble hands, you can get some of the roots up on the fungus. And as long as you've got some dirt in there, seems like it's holding on pretty well.
Okay, so I'm gonna fill my little jar as much as I can.
I'd say you can get a jar. I'd say you can get a full healing potion sized jar full of the moss as well as full of the mushrooms between you and Obit helping each other out. And you do hear... Fascinating. I wonder what we could use this for later on.
Do you know how to do
I fucking forgot about Goggin.
Oh, I thought that was Obit for some reason.
No, it's been 3 episodes since we've heard this little fucker.
Just when you forget who the big bad is, he's in my backpack.
I'm
These are
saying.
some fascinating components, and I'm sure you could come up with some clever use for them later.
We could learn new spells.
You absolutely could.
Okay, don't let me forget. We're gonna play with this when we get back to the ship.
Oh, you don't need my help to remember. You're clever enough on your own. So,
Never
Gaia,
not trusted an NPC so much.
Gaia,
Never trusted
Milos.
an NPC so much.
You kind of put together the story of what happened between both of you looking over the tracks and the indents of the person sitting. Whoever it was gathered up whatever was around them very quickly and sprinted deeper into the cave system. What would you like to do?
Milos, are we... I guess we can really only go farther in at this point.
We gotta find out what's going on here. We gotta find out if there's any survivors. If they can have a chance off this island, we need to be able to help.
Then it's settled. I guess I'll lead the way.
Merrick, Obit, let's go.
Right behind you.
Make sure you grab the child. He gets distracted.
What?
Distracted.
As Obit was distracted by some of the moss.
Shapes and colors.
Oh, right. Merrick,
Yeah.
Grab
if you
hands.
please. And he puts his arm out for you to, like, lock elbows.
Okay.
Here we go.
I skip a
What do
little
you-
bit.
Obit does not, but you can see that he's, like, just trying to swing his arm so that you can skip as much as you want. Now, what do you think is going to be deeper in these caves? If we've got just these glowing mushrooms and moss here, wondering if we'll find some glowing creatures?
Can we put them in a jar too?
We can
No.
certainly try. Nuri's bringing up the rear, so Gaia, go ahead and give me... You followed the tracks, so you've made a survival check already to follow these tracks. So, like, you're following them. It's very easy to, because there's only one path for a good, like, 40 feet. The cave winds back and forth, and while that first area was much brighter, because it was just covered in the glowing moss and mushrooms, as you get further in, it fades, and you have little patches here and there, but you still, for the most part, have to rely on your dark vision. In that room, it was bright light. Moving forward, it's dim light in areas, but almost darkness in between those patches. And so, Milos, you are having a little bit of trouble looking around. Guy, you are also having trouble keeping track of the tracks. But again, it's one path. But then you do come to a split.
And if it's getting darker, I'm gonna, like, oh, I got this, and now cast dancing lights.
Well, hold on. We should talk about this.
Why? It's dark.
It may not be the worst idea, but we do have the element of surprise on our side a little bit, whereas throwing up lights means that we lose that.
Yeah, I can't see shit. I don't have dark vision.
Yeah.
I can see shit.
Oh, but you have a point, but
I can step up and try and lead us for a little bit through here.
I have dark vision and a 22 passive investigation.
But if the two of you are more comfortable with us throwing up lights, that's perfectly fine. I just wanted to make sure that we talked about this as a team.
Well, when the DM says you better have the element of surprise, it kind of makes me feel like we need the element of surprise.
What does DM mean, Merrick? Dwarven master?
Dwarven minister.
Oh, well, that's hurtful. I'm a little hurt by that, but okay. You can light up your lights if you want to. And he slowly unhooks his elbow from yours.
I just skip up next to Milos. Do you guys want some light, or do you want me to look? Because I can see really, it's fine in here.
Obit's got a point with the element of surprise, but also I don't want to be surprised. Can you make my sword glow?
No.
I can do that if you want.
That would be great, Obit.
Okay. And you don't even see it. You feel his hand, like, reach over and grab your sword blade. Just by the all hots power. And
Thanks,
your
buddy. You're a
sword
great adventuring
lights
partner.
up. And you look over your shoulder and you just see, like, reflective streaks on his cheeks.
He's just a child, okay? I'm sorry. He doesn't
You
understand.
feel a lot, don't you?
I'm a full person with full feelings.
Huh.
So yes. But it's fine. It's whatever.
Look, we said
Carry
dealing with
on.
personal issues on the boat. Okay, we gotta keep going.
Uh-huh. Yep. Keep it on.
Okay.
So,
We're moving
Guy,
forward.
I guess keep leading the way. And Guy, go ahead and give me a survival check to follow the tracks, as you've got a split in the cave system.
That's a 12.
Oh, great. We're lost in another fucking cave system.
You see multiple tracks down one path with a single track leading down the other. They all kind of seem to be of the same, like, it's in sand, so you can't tell what the footprint is. You're not sure if it's all the same person, but all of the tracks, both the many going down to the left and the single going down to the right, seem to be of the same, like, they're not trying to hide their tracks.
How big is the room we're in at the moment?
About 10 feet
Doesn't
wide.
matter, cast fireball.
Goes up.
I don't care how big the room is. I cast Fireball.
About 10 feet from side to side, from wall to wall, and then it goes up about 15 feet.
Well, this way could have been the guy went down this way and found it was a dead end and came back. But this way, he just went one way, of course. Maybe he ran into something and it killed him and then he can't come back. I don't know which way to go.
You can always call out and see if anybody responds.
Oh, really? We're trying to have the element of surprise and we're going to shout down the hallway.
We kind of gave up the element of surprise with the light, but it's okay.
Exactly.
Now we just look like a mushroom.
Yep.
Dude, balls up.
Wow, Merrick's a misogynistic asshole.
Hey. You gotta stop hanging out with the gun crews.
It's what Powder Monkey talk, I'm sorry. That's how we talk down there. You wouldn't get it.
He's right. I should. Balls up.
Milos leans down and gets close to Merrick's ear. If you're an asshole one more time, you and I are going to have a conversation when we get back to the ship.
What? He's like crying.
Remember when you cried in the last cave system we were in? Did we make fun of
died.
you?
You couldn't because you were dead.
I wasn't talking about then. I was talking about when you and Guy got in your little fight.
Stop. We have more things to do right now.
We're getting a little loud at this point, so...
Yeah, stop being an asshole.
They just
Fun
start
fact, that's how I speak to my children.
start having a full blown like argument and just thaumaturgy inside the case. I said, knock it off.
But, which way are we going?
Honestly, we can go.
Left.
Okay.
And Milos just starts walking left.
All right.
He's got the light. I don't know.
I'm just like kicking my feet and dragging him in the sand.
Don't mess up my tracks.
So,
Am I being an asshole?
I will leave you in here.
Milos, with you
Can't
leading
see
the
like
way.
it.
Like he left your parents. Anyways, what are you
Milos,
saying,
with
Jeff?
you leading the way, go ahead and give me a survival check.
Talk about mothers!
There's Obit's just like walking along behind the rest of you with Nuri next to him. Like, there seems to be a lot of animosity between the three of you for you being such close friends.
I'm about to
just
pop off in
wondering-
this cave right now.
I'm just wondering if maybe
Pop
we
off.
need to. I'm wondering if we just need to maybe stop and air out some of these feelings. I know you said we should leave this for back at the ship, but it seems like there's a lot of resentment.
Apparently, I didn't know there was until this moment because I worked through mine and I'm fine. As a mature 10-year-old adult.
Well, so I think that Merrick kind of started us off with a good habit of, in this situation, we should try and stick to I feel phrases and not project onto others. So, Merrick, you are saying that you feel that things were fine and you are confused as to why there is any hostility. It's good. All right. Get your feelings and expectations out there.
I feel that Milos, you shouldn't call me an asshole.
No. That's not the way these I feel work. It's more like how
Start with
I feel like you shouldn't be an asshole.
I don't. Y'all are not understanding
like
the way
this
these
is
I feel
stupid. It's not
phrases work.
working, Obit.
So there you go. You feel like it is stupid. You feel like it's not working. That's a good I feel phrase.
I feel like it's a waste of our time right now.
Okay, well then
Who's got the wish spell to make this never happen?
Therapy doesn't exist.
Then we can stop us. I threw it out there as a possibility of us talking about feelings, but apparently that is.
I feel like sometimes I like you, Obit, and I feel like other times I don't like you, Obit.
That is completely fair, and that is how most relationships work. You don't have to like someone all the time.
I like Coggin all the time.
I don't know who that is, but it sounds like a very good friend.
He's my best friend. And I look at Milos.
We're not even sure he's real.
I am glad that you've got such a good and close friend. Do you and Obit, or not Obit, I'm sorry,
That's
I'm
you.
Obit. Do you and Coggin talk about your feelings often?
Not feelings.
No?
That feels weird. I feel like that feels weird.
It's weird for you to talk about your feelings.
Yeah, what good does that do?
Insert montage of all the times he sat there. Coggin, I'm scared.
That's different.
That helps you come to terms and putting language, putting words to how you feel kind of helps you figure out exactly how you feel about the situation. It helps us understand and comprehend what is going on in the world around us and exactly how we do feel about it.
I feel like I'm done with this conversation.
Just saying, maybe have you and Coggin talked a lot recently?
All the time.
Recently?
Not in 3 episodes.
I don't know what we do in the meantime, but yeah. Actually, I guess I haven't talked to him as much as I used to.
Why do you think that is?
Well,
Because now
I
he
guess
has
I
real
have-
friends.
more people to talk to than I used to.
Milos, what was your survival check? It was
21.
21? Oh, okay. So yeah, there's you're not sure what tracks you are trying to follow out of these scattering of several tracks. But you do get to a point where there's another branch off. There's 3 different. You could keep going straight, or you could go off to the right or off to the left. And
Am
the
I
left
by
and right
myself, or has this been a walk and talk?
This has been a walk and talk.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So there's an intersecting cave tunnel to the one that you are walking along. There is a set of tracks that go straight. There's a set of tracks that go off to the right. And there are 2 sets of tracks that go off to the left and behind, because the one to the right kind of goes off at an angle to the front. The one to the left goes off at an angle to the back, because it's an intersecting tunnel.
I still vote we call out to anybody in here.
Well, then, can I just put my lights up then?
I mean, if we're going full on just letting people know we're here and trying to find them, may as well. You got the light there still, Milos. You got that for a little while. And, Merrick, if you want to go ahead and up your lights, that way we can be a welcoming beacon of hope for anyone who is in this cave system.
Thanks, Dwarven Minister.
A lot.
You know
Yeah,
what?
okay.
I do my best.
Yeah, I
I don't even know what class he is at this point, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, lights go out, or lights go up, I should say. And so you've got the... Merrick, I just kind of assumed that you had, like, glowing orbs of pulsating light, but do you want to describe what your dancing lights look like?
I think described them once, like early on in the campaign, where you get 4 little bloop, 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 and they are little fireballs but it's like a bluish, greenish
Okay.
fireball, and they just
Nice.
like little will-o-wisps almost.
Cool. I love it. So
But
yeah,
it's like
you've got-
slow motion flame.
Ooh. Cool. So yeah, you've got the as these dancing lights start to dance around you, lighting up the cave system. And you can see very clearly out to like 60, 100 feet down any of these hallways, since you're standing kind of in the crossroads of the two. Not hallways, but cave systems. What would you like to do?
Going.
You guys have the ability to, like, thaumaturgy, right?
No,
Yes.
I haven't learned it yet. Can you teach me?
I really don't know how I do it. I just kind of do it. But maybe, I don't know.
Later. I'm back on the boat.
And I'll just yell out hello real loud, and then
And then I'm gonna cast thaumaturgy again and create harmless tremors on the ground. Unbeknownst to the party.
So instead of welcoming the people like, hey, we come in peace, you're like, aha, God's here, bitch.
hello. Rumble.
You hear
And
the
I would like to
rumbling.
do a perception check to see if I can hear a reaction out of any of the tunnels.
Yeah, go for it. You all hear the rumbling of the ground
26.
and the echoing of hello down all of the tunnels. With that 26, you hear slight whispers coming from the cave system behind you.
I'm going to kind of just turn to it. If anybody's there, we're the welcoming party from the Lament. If you'd like off this island, that we are trying to abide and assist with that.
Give me a persuasion check.
My strong suit, +0. That's a 2.
It's a trap.
You hear nothing.
Well, I vote we go pillage the ships then.
So there's a cave system ahead of us, cave system behind us, and that's where the whispering came from, behind us.
Yep, from the path that you came down.
There wasn't anybody there before. Where'd that voice come from? It's like many whispers?
No, I mean,
Just one.
you don't know,
Oh. But we could hear
but
it.
Milos, it's hard to tell.
Okay.
You just hear,
With my passive
whispers.
20 perception.
even with because the passive's not going to work here because you are trying to hear past the echoing voices of Gaia and Milos as they called down through the cave system, as well as the rumbling that Gaia started.
I don't want to
Listen,
go back there.
we called out. I think at this point we go pillage through the wrecks, get back to our ship, and continue on.
You don't want to see what's forward?
No.
I'll be honest, I'm a little scared of getting lost in this cave system. All of these walls look the same.
They're undead everywhere. This is nothing but a trap if we're not careful.
But I remember we came in, we went left, and we took another left, and now we're here.
Okay, well, took a left and then another left. So we go back by going right and taking another right?
Right.
No. Left and then another left.
No, right and then right. Let's go. There's the ranger we know and love.
Alright, so y'all are backtracking through the cave system. And as you get to the first split off,
Nope. Don't like a roll.
because because you all have ridiculously high passive perceptions.
Isn't the lowest mine at an 18?
Yeah.
I'm in an 18.
Yeah. You all hear footsteps running down the cave system. The split off to the right with the single tracks.
Mm-hmm.
You hear footsteps.
Hey, Merrick,
running.
this is when you cast Fireball.
I don't have Fireball, but I have Firebolt! I'm gonna cast it.
All right. Give me an attack roll at disadvantage because you don't know what you're firing at. You're just kind of launching.
Yeah, I think
it down.
Milos is also going to do the same with a crossbow bolt.
9.
All right. So yeah, same thing, Milos. Just disadvantage because you can't see what you're firing at.
Dirty 20. I got a 13 and a 14 plus 7.
Dirty 20. All right. The 9, you see it arc high and scatter against one of the
Lighting
the
up
walls.
just enough for my bolt to see what I'm shooting at.
And so you fire the bolt down the cave, and you hear someone go, fuck.
I'd reveal yourself if I were you.
Yeah, or else.
I would, but you shot me in. You shot me in the ass.
That wasn't the kill shot. You'll be
No, but
fine.
I can't stand now.
Crawl.
Or we could just.
Could you just come to me,
No.
please?
We called out. You ignored us. Absolutely not.
Well, I was very scared that you might come and shoot me.
And look what happened.
My fears were confirmed.
Exactly. You should probably reveal yourself now.
Yeah, it's okay.
I just
We'll
said-
we'll just end this now. Just
No, wait,
look away, Obin.
wait, please. And you hear like limping, essentially.
Is anybody else in here with you?
No. How much damage did you do with the crossbow bolt?
Oh shit! I gotta roll for that, don't I? Perfect. 5. I rolled
Alright.
minimum damage.
And you see a figure leaning against the wall with every step come into the light. And it is I mean, if you have the picture to put up, Gaia, to add to the mix, you see a man with spectacles, a mutton chops that go into a mustache, with tattered clothes, some sort of wooden staff poking up over one shoulder. As he's holding his side, he is missing a boot. And again, clothes are completely tattered as he's leaning against the wall and just... Well, a pleasure to meet you. I am Conrad.
How long have you been here? And Milos will take the first step to introduce
And
himself.
Right now he's leaning against the wall, and like you can see he's holding his hip out at a weird angle to keep the crossbow bolt from pushing against the wall, but he has to support himself on that side because he has a crossbow bolt sticking out of his ass.
Milos is gonna yank it out.
Oh, I would have appreciated a little bit of a warning.
It's okay, and I'll.
You would have tensed up if I warned you.
That's fair.
And
I got
I'll-
shot earlier by the guy behind me. I get it.
He
You know,
shot
that's
me.
very fair.
I shot you. It's a vicious circle. Kind of like a freaky vicious circle. No. And I'll expend one of my uses of cure wounds.
Oh, okay.
How long you been here?
I've...
He gets 5 hit points back.
Very nice. He pulls out actually a... Oh, what did I drop? Pulls out a metallic cylinder, or a small metallic medallion. Presses a button and it flips open. Well, if the thing is still working, I've been stuck here for... Oh, that can't be right. 2 months.
You want to get off or you want to get out?
I would very much like to get off this godforsaken island. And he's rubbing where the crossbow bolt was, like.
And no one else is here with you?
No, unfortunately. I am the last remaining member of my crew, and I have only managed to stay here, stay alive here as long as I have, because I had a chest of the rations with me, and was able to hide away in this cave up above where all of the creepy undead would
Well, now you have a new crew. Let's go.
just like that.
If you want, I'm not going to force you to do anything. We have an option out for an out for you. You can join us if you would like.
I've just never... very rarely do I experience such camaraderie, but if you would just give me a moment to collect my effects.
Make it quick. I don't like it in here.
Neither do I. And he turns around and starts sprinting off back down the cave.
How do we know
And you
we
hear
can
him.
trust him?
Do you hear his voice echo as he's calling back? If you want this to be expedited, I could use some assistance.
I was gonna say.
Can I do an insight check?
Sure.
My whole +2. That's a 10 plus 2, 12.
12. Hard to get a read on the guy. He seems a little too upbeat for being here for 2 months, but it also is hard to tell whether or not he's upbeat because he was surprised by some helpful folks coming along.
What if
Or
Yeah,
if there's
Milos is going to be a
Something
little
at once.
hesitant, but will make his way towards him to assist in getting his belongings.
Wait, Gaia, what if his crew didn't die? What if he killed them all and he's the only one here now? What if he's a bad guy?
Well, if he's a bad guy, then we kill him. That's the way of the world. But I mean,
What if he does it when we're sleeping?
You also did see how those ships get here. I'm not sure anyone could survive that.
Well, he did.
oh, you don't.
Merrick, that was Coggin. So
Yeah.
you responded out loud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why did he? And he's not like a Superman or something like whoever Superman is. Because he was complaining about getting shot in the butt. I don't know. I don't know. He seems weird.
Keep an eye on him.
Because we're any better.
I'm sure plenty of people think you're kind of weird. So
People think
Yeah.
I'm weird.
you were just talking to yourself. So
You all come up to an area where more of this glowing fungi and lichen has been gathered in jars.
He's a fun guy? Nice.
Yep. But gathered in jars, and it kind of creates light in the area. Not bright light, because he can only gather so many of them at a time. But it seems like he's got a whole little like hovel set up here. There's a rough bed mat of sorts of really just like sails and different fabrics laid down to be bedding in one corner. There is a chest that does look full of the bricks of rations, or not completely full, but like chest about this big. Each ration for a day is about this big and about this thick, and so he's got still like a little bit more than half of the chest full of the rations. He also has a smaller chest, or case, I should say, because this one has it's flat, or flatter, has a handle on it, and he seems to be packing stuff and tools into that and closing it up. Ah, perfect. If one of you could actually grab the rations chest there, I have my own effects, and he grabs two pipes off of the ground and tucks them into his belt. Picks up the case and has that tucked under one arm.
Yeah, so far, he's not doing anything to give me reason to distrust him.
No, not at all. And then he also picks up, you can see that he picks up 2 different sized crossbows. One, a hand crossbow that he clips to the back of his belt. Another, light crossbow, not as big as Obit's, but still a 2-handed crossbow that he puts over one shoulder and clips there.
I'm conflicted. I don't know if I trust him enough to put down my arms to help him carry things.
And then I also have to... I need this. And he points at a contraption that is... It's hard to describe. It's got pieces of... Or actually, it wouldn't have anything set up on it. It seems like a bunch of cogs and wheels with spokes, like made completely of wood, but with wooden spokes coming off of the cogs, and a pedal connected at the bottom. What's that?
I'll carry this.
It is... It's bigger than you, Merrick. But if you go ahead and like try and pick it up, it is surprisingly light.
So I can study it while it's closer in my hands.
It's bulky, and so, but you can grab it by like 2 of the spokes and lift it up, and it is, your speed is reduced by half because you are technically encumbered carrying this thing, but you can carry it even with your low strength, surprisingly enough.
And I'm like studying it to figure out like what it is and what these things
Perfect.
do.
Thank you so much. I think that is going to be everything. Wait. And he picks up 2 pouches from the ground and clips them into leather pouches, not like coin purses. 2 leather pouches with buckles over them, and carefully places, like undoes his belt and places those on the belt, reclips the belt. I think I'm ready to go.
Is there anything in here we need to be made aware of?
No, just be careful with that. And he points at Merrick. Be careful with that. It's a little on the fragile side.
What is it?
James.
That is my... I'm a tailor by trade. And so that is how I make clothing.
But you're not wearing any clothing.
Well, I don't really have any of the thread or materials to make clothing. I would be distraught if I didn't bring my tools along with me.
I need to make it very clear, if something happens and this child is harmed, I will ruthlessly end your existence.
No, of course.
Without hesitation.
That is completely fair. I have the means to protect the child as well, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Wonderful. Lead the way, or should I be at the front so that
You should be at the front.
That way you can stab me in the back if I get too out of order, of
Or
course.
shoot you in the ass.
Please don't do that again. It's very hard to walk.
You're healed. You're fine.
Yes, now I am. And he's walking forward, like, again, a little too upbeat. And you can't tell if it's just him being excited that he's being rescued finally. He's off. Like, there's something off about him.
Mm-hmm.
And still, it's very difficult to tell whether it's just because he's been on his own for 2 months on a zombie-infested island, or if he's hiding something.
Oh, he's hiding something.
Yeah.
I trust him less than I trust Kagan.
Oof.
And so
do
we'll
I.
expedite this a little bit. You get back to the opening of the cave. And as you get to that room that's brightly lit by the bioluminescent fungi, you hear this man, you hear Conrad go, I'm sorry that I hid myself before. I wasn't sure what was coming through the cave system, and I don't always like to fight if I can avoid it. I was sitting here, and he points at the area that you recognized as someone sitting, Milos. I have to come up here to read my books, because
You have books?
Of course I do.
Not now, Merrick. Back on the ship.
Oh, all right. And he puts the book away in his pouch or in his pack. Like, I promise that I will show you the books that I have.
You promise?
Of course. It is how I have created such wonderful machinations. And so you get out to he pushes past the curtain, and you are now standing on the cliffside, looking out over the cove with all of the shipwrecked ships below. And Conrad goes, I don't like to use the machinations because they are very loud, and I'm always worried about alerting the big bird upstairs, if you understand my gist.
Yeah, the big bird up there.
Right, upstairs.
Oh, clever.
And so, very noisy roommate, and I try to be as considerate as possible.
How often does it leave?
Usually about once every 3 days.
And how long is it gone?
For about 3 days.
And it just got back?
It just got back.
Good. So we wait here for 3 days. And we can eat these bricks of food.
We can't wait 3 days.
What if it sees us?
What if it sees the ship?
Milos, you get you hear a voice in your head.
I don't like this.
And you hear, hello, am I coming through loud and clear? This is Boser to Milos. I had some of your blood so that I could... And fades out.
I'm going to immediately try to think back. Basha, if you're still there, we need you on the... and I don't know what side of the shore we're on.
And... So you get another voice in your head. Oh, good. No, that's Conrad's voice. Yes, Boser. Coming through. There we go. Yes, Milos. Good. I got you. We saw your what's it called? Flares up in the sky, and it took them this long to come and get me, and I'm just trying to make sure everything is okay.
All right, so you gave me what, 10 seconds?
No, it's 25 words.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Massive bird, be careful. Rowboats. DM question, what side of the shore are the wrecks on?
They are on... If you came in from the east, they're on the north side.
Okay. North side, stealthy as possible. Evac immediately.
And you get another... Pasha's just using 3 third level spells like it's nothing. I think it's 3rd level, could be 4th level, but he's a high level cleric, so... Okay, so... Evac on north side, big bird. Firepower?
Yes, heavy, all of it.
Understood.
If only.
One word.
So I'm assuming because he used it the 4th time, that means I have one more response to him.
Yep.
One survivor, immense amount of supplies, shipwrecks, be careful. I swear to God, if he responds one more time.
No, you cut back to the ship, and Pasha's freaking out. I really should respond, because it is rude to let it go like that. I should be the last one to respond and say, okay, heard, but I don't... I can't spend any more spells.
Just can't do it anymore.
So... You're
guys,
all on the ledge.
I think I have an evac plan for us. Pasha just reached out to me.
Oh, good, because I thought you were just talking to yourself.
Oh, no, that was all telepathically.
I was not.
Oh, it was not? No. What, you think you can talk to Coggin and I can't talk to people?
Yeah, it's weird when you do
think
it.
you're special? I can talk to a dragon. He can talk to Pasha. You talk to Coggin. What's up?
I didn't know you and Pasha were that close.
Now you do.
Now I lost Conrad's voice. Don't cross this line. I'm feeling very left out here.
You talk to the voices in your head?
No.
Who do you
Why
talk
would
to?
I do that? To myself.
Isn't,
No, if
isn't
you're-
your own
if-
voice just a voice in your head when you're thinking?
No, I speak out loud so that I can work through problems.
T relates to that on a very deep level.
It's so that I can voice my concerns to myself, work through it vocally. Why am I explaining myself right now? We need to get off this island.
But how do we get down from here?
Rope.
More,
We used it all, and then we cut it.
more,
I don't think
Oh,
we used
right.
it all. I think
And
we
he-
will still have plenty of rope.
more importantly, what did Pasha say?
Pasha got our flare. He reached out to let us know he did receive it. I am assuming he is going to be sending us reinforcements.
As you are relaying this information, Conrad is reaching into the curtain of fungi and ivy and pulls out a rope ladder. It's not
Werewolves.
exactly long enough to reach the bottom, so there's a little bit of climbing that we have to do, but this gets you more than halfway down.
Obit, Merrick, how many times can you guys use Featherfall?
Well, I can do it one more time at least. I can do it a couple more times actually. I've still got a little bit of energy in me.
I could do it some.
I think the quicker we can get down, the better, and faster is better in this situation.
And if we're gonna carry this stuff down,
Well,
Oh,
then
yes,
in
there's
that
a lot of
case,
stuff.
Obit just pushes Conrad over the edge and jumps off.
I was on edge with Obit. I'm not gonna lie. I dig him.
Are the rest of you jumping?
Yeah. I trust Merrick enough for that.
Good. So the rest of you fall, and Obit casts Featherfall. Now, once all of you leap off the side.
We just wait. He's just waiting for us, and he just hits the bottom before he casts it.
So
Full
that
send.
is another first level spell slot used up. And you all gently alight on the beach below. You've got
That's your favorite word.
a light.
A light.
You've got the like 36 different shipwrecks in front of you, or at least the remains of 36 ships, judging by the.
You
the
guys can
masts.
look at Milos and see he is absolutely giddy at the thought process of exploring these sunken ships.
Obit also like dusts himself off a little bit. All right, so are we going to spend the time waiting for the lament to get what we can off of these ships here?
Yeah, I don't know how long he's gonna be. I let him know our location. We're gonna, while we're waiting, we're gonna start getting through here and get some supplies out while we can.
A single arm punches up out of the sand and grabs onto your shin, Milos.
Of course it does.
I'm not going to even have you guys roll initiative. You pull your leg back, and it's literally just a single arm, a single calcified arm just trying
Is it
to
the
grab
one from
onto you.
earlier that Gaia kicked down?
Yeah. And looking around, you see, like, bits and pieces of the zombies, like, moving in no particular direction. Just kind of, like, moving. Arms are grabbing onto legs and trying to drag themselves back together.
Well, I guess we're gonna settle this problem first. And Milos is gonna bring his cutlass down.
Yeah. Well, interesting point. As you stab the cutlass, or try to stab the cutlass into the arm, it glances off, and it's like stabbing into rock.
Don't like that.
And so you can't continue to stab it, but you're worried that like it might actually chip your cutlass.
Yeah,
at this
no,
point.
after the first one, guys, my sword did nothing.
It's not like it did nothing. A chunk came off, like a chip off the arm came off, but you realize like if you just keep stabbing at it, you're going to do as much damage to your sword as you do to the remains.
These guys are much stronger than the last.
Why are they so hard?
Obit comes over and like squats down next to where the arm is just lying in the sand, flopping around, trying to get, like, it's like this, flopping around, trying to get back over so that it can crawl its way along. Obit's just sitting there. Well, it seems as though these remains have been here so long that the salt from the sea has calcified around the bone and expanded the strength of the bone up through the skin. Have you ever seen a fossil?
In books.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
wait,
kinda
no,
like,
yes, once at the institute.
It's kind of like that, where it's all the flesh, all the flesh and everything that were on these beings has kind of calcified, and it's just been sped up by the fact that we are in a salty environment.
Can I pick up a chunk that broke off?
Sure.
I'm gonna keep this for later.
Obit,
That
I'm real
is-
glad we brought you.
That is weird and strange, kid, but okay. And you now have a dozen of ships in front of you. What would you like to do?
Milos is jumping into that motherfucking water.
Jump into the water. I'm not going to have you force you to make a athletics check to swim out to any of them. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
Oh yeah, obviously.
And are these underwater? Or are these shipwrecks like we can? Looks like we can access them. From
You can
above
at
water.
least you can climb up to parts of the ship that are above the water, but for the most part they are submerged and under the water. I mean, you saw what the rock does to these ships. It just drops them here, and so they get basically explode into 1,000 pieces, and it's just kind of looking through the remains that are underwater or that have sunk to the bottom of this little cove lagoon to try and grab what you can.
I'll handle the underwater. Sorry, Milos.
Hey, I'm still going under a little bit.
And I can too. I've been studying some of the books and reading about evolution, and I think I can evolve now. I
This
cast
mother
Alter
cat-
Self,
Oh.
and you see these little gills like pop out of the side and webbing between my fingers.
There's a like
I look like
5
Milos.
seconds. There's 5 seconds where you cast the spell and you only breathe through your gills and you start to like gasp for air.
Uh-huh.
As you,
I've
And then
never
you
done
realize-
this before.
and you fall like you faint, fall face first into the water, and then just go and then you remember, oh right, like gills and lungs, and you practice a little bit to get used to the breathing through the gills, go back to breathing through the lungs, so now you can breathe both above water and below water.
That was weird. But how cool, right?
You see Milos is visibly jealous.
Oh no. Obit just looks at his hands and like, dang. I got nothing.
Yeah, Milos is more or less distraught at this right now, and he's not a happy camper.
Look. He may be able to breathe underwater, but he's still slow.
So
can
am I.
swim 25 feet.
Obit's just like, I will stay.
Yeah,
Firmly
Obit, you
planted.
keep track of our new friend here.
I like that plan. Yes, I would also appreciate not going underwater. It's really not good for the mechanics. And he holds the 2 pipes up and puts them back in his belt.
I really don't trust this guy.
He's got pipe bombs in his pockets. Or is he just happy to see us?
So, the 3 of you go out and start exploring. Each of you give me investigation checks. Or, I'll put it this way. You can each make individual investigation checks if you want to spread out and try and cover as much ground as possible.
Yeah.
Or, if you want to stick together, I will allow you to do an investigation check at advantage at whoever has the highest.
I'm gonna kind of get carried away with the fact that I can breathe and swim underwater.
Okay.
And
So,
probably branch
it
off.
seems like Milos also wanted to branch off. So,
Nat 20
yeah.
plus 8, 28.
Nice.
That is a intelligence or
10.
investigation. And not. How
Notice
did you
we're
get a
just
10?
broke 2 hours.
Yeah. How'd you get a 10?
An
3
investigation.
plus 7.
Oh my god!
Oh no.
Hey, wait. Can you re-roll that?
I actually can. I'm going to use this inspiration that I got in episode
Ooh.
2.
There you go. Finally.
Fun fact: we haven't done that again.
No.
How about 8?
Okay, look at your feats. Look at your feats. I'm pretty sure there's a feat you can use.
I don't
as
know
well.
if you can re-roll skill checks with that.
Maybe.
Once per long, you gain advantage on one attack roll. Ability check.
It is an ability check, so you can use it here.
Okay, let's do it again.
I think you can also make him wild magic surge.
No,
It has
you
to be when he
definitely
casts
can.
a spell.
I cast Alter Self.
Oh, that's right. So give me a d20 roll as well, just to see if that triggered wild magic.
Okay, my new, just before I lose it, my new investigation is 19.
Okay.
And I rolled a 9 for Wild Magic Surge.
Okay, so nothing happens there. So yeah, going around underwater. 19, 28, and what was yours, Gaia?
13.
13?
Not an investigative person.
That's fine. So Gaia, it's a good thing you can breathe underwater, because we'll get to you actually. Milos, you first.
28.
You are exploring around in a ship, and you actually find a spot where the bowels of the
This
ship...
is not the first sunken ship Milos has explored.
Yeah, you dive down and you swim around, and you get to the bowels of the ship, and there's actually air pockets in there.
Okay.
So like you swim through, you come up, get a breath of fresh air, and you see... You went towards a ship called the Loyal Ranger.
Okay.
It was sunk a little on its side, up against one of the rocky outcroppings sticking up out of the water at the southern edge of the cove.
Okay.
And you see, like, it is all of it's everything that was in the hold is still there, untouched, kind of knocked off to the side because the ship is kind
Obviously.
of tipped over, but it's all kind of piled there, and only some of it is wet. Because again, you found a pocket of the ship where, like, there's about a foot or two of water at the bottom. Or I guess, like, where you came up, there's a hole, and then about a foot or two of water. And then it kind of, like, goes up out of the water. And most of the stuff is held there by the rigging that was there to hold some massive crates in place during storms. And a good, like, pocket of treasure or items or goods have been held in place there. And so looking through, you find a chest full of coins.
Ooh, fuck
Copper,
yeah.
silver, gold,
Cavalic.
platinum. A fine leather coat, like overcoat, kind of like what a pirate coat. Leather,
Naturally.
but with electrum scales sewn into it.
Ooh.
Yeah. Really nice. It's more of a fine, like, social piece. It will provide some protection, that of studded leather armor, but it
I don't
is
even know what kind
more
of armor I have at the moment.
It is more of a, like, fancy coat than an actual...
I want it. I just have regular leather armor.
Go for it.
Fuck yeah.
A lacquered wooden chalice engraved with a distinguished coat of arms, an ivory shield brooch inlaid with Mendros of Orichalcum, a god that you've come across in your travels, 2 barrels, and when you tip them back and forth, you hear sloshing around inside. You open up one small, like, chest, if that's even the right word, and you get hit by a very pleasant smell. and you rub a claw across these bricks about this big of, it looks like ivory, and you scrape a nail across it and a waxy substance just comes off, and you realize you found 6 pounds of soap, essentially.
Okay.
We can be clean.
And then tucked in the back, you find, it's strange because you find another long chest that when opened up, like it's thin, only about an inch or two thick, about 5 feet long. You open it up, and there's a broom, carefully wrapped in leather, tucked inside of it.
Did you just find a Nimbus 3000?
That's immediately where I went with it.
There is a rapier in a scabbard, also tucked in that same corner. Beautiful, like, white metal wrapped around a handle, or like basket wrapped around a handle. Black leather with a blue gem inlaid into the pommel.
I also need that.
There is a bow there's a bow that's only like 3 feet long, but it's got a nasty S-curve on it.
Okay.
And you can see that it is made of it doesn't seem like wood. You don't see any grain in there. It is a black material though. And it's got some decent give, but you can feel like as you pull the string a little bit, it takes some incredible strength to pull it back. You can still do it, but like looking at the size of the bow, you're thinking like, oh, I can pull it back like a short bow. You pull it takes effort to pull it back all the way. Whatever this is, it packs some punch, and there's gold inlay, making like Baroque designs across the entire black material, whatever it is, with a white leather wrapping on the handle.
Because we're in an air pocket, that means this portion would be technically above water. Am I in a position anywhere I can use a crowbar to start breaking out pieces of wood above me to make getting all of this out an easier task?
You're not technically above the water level.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
There's points where you could probably be above the water level, but you also know that like if the water's here inside, it's probably here on the outside, and the ceiling is up here.
Okay, gotcha.
And so you're gonna need to pick and choose what you bring up in each trip.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's also you rolled a 28 on your investigation check. There is, at first you don't notice it because it seems like a piece of rock or coral, and then you realize that it's attached to a staff. You pick the staff up and you realize that you're just looking at the handle end of a trident, decorated with shells and coral.
I got gifts for everybody.
And then there is a
That one's mine.
there's a small purple velvet box that you found like just sticking up out of the sand. You actually kicked it as you were walking around. Pick it up, and inside is a rose gold ring with a kite-shaped like plate and a red
Milos
orange
puts the ring
agate.
on.
Red orange agate on it. You feel let me double check what that does real quick.
Yeah,
Feel like
ring,
tingling.
ring, rapier, and that the little overcoat. 100%.
A bow.
Milos. No, the bow's obviously going to Gaia. You can have
Oh,
the staff,
sorry.
Merrick.
I described this wrong. It
a
is
trident.
a wooden ring, wooden lacquered ring, with fur inlaid on the inside, and two creatures curled around each other
Doesn't change the fact. Milos puts the ring on.
You feel warmer.
Okay.
Like all the cold from you swimming through the water immediately leaves your body.
That's a little weird, but all right.
And it's not like an uncomfortable sweaty warmth at this point. You just feel the cold pushed
Dissipate.
off. Yeah. All right. Merrick, what was
I
your
rolled a
investigation? 19
after 3 tries.
Right. So the first one, like, you go into one ship, nothing. You find nothing in the depths or across the entire hold. This one has just been completely scattered. The second one, you're like, all right, this one looks much more put together. And you go in there, and then you notice that it's upside down, but it seems fully put together from your perspective, swimming up to it from underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And you climb up into it a little, swim up into it, climb up the last little bit to where the depths would be, where they would store all the cargo. And then you realize, oh, the entire bottom of the ship is just gone. So you climb out of this one and swim along again, and you find one ship that sunk completely to the bottom and is resting on its side, called the Ocean's Howl. And you swim down in there, and this is all underwater. Werewolves everywhere, lichen. But you swim down into the bottom of the hold, and all of the cargo is just kind of floating there. It's an ethereal sense, because everything is just floating there, weightless, at the bottom of this cove. So you're swimming through, and like there's crates that you can kind of like just push out of the way as you're swimming through. And inside the depths of this ship, you find most of the cargo still intact. Waterlogged maybe, but intact. There's a locked chest, bigger than you, that is sunk to the very bottom. You see a couple of like porcelain plates and cups and silverware, or not silverware, but like table pieces floating around that could fetch a nice price. You see a tattered leather cloak that has just been worn away by the salt water. And then you get wrapped up in another object, and you can't get it off your arm, and you pull at it, you realize that it's a fully intact silk robe covered in eyes.
Oh, are they like blinking and looking?
I know that.
You're not
very
sure.
well.
You think that they are, but you can't tell if it's just because of how it's shimmering and reflecting the light that's already refracted through the water. But hundreds of eyes just glittering. You see a bundled up leather pack at the bottom, and opening it up, you see all sorts of small little dainty tools start to float out. You close it real quick so that you don't lose any of them. A thieves' tool set.
I can use one of those. I have one. I can use another one.
You see 2 long swords, like 4 feet long, in scabbards, completely wrapped up in cloth. You just see the hilts sticking out, and you think, okay, those could be at least salvaged. It seems like they might have been protected from the environments. You see a grappling hook attached to 50 feet of rope just floating around as well. Or you see the rope floating, and you see the grappling hook like sunk to the bottom.
Nice.
And kind of like moving around as the rope gets caught by the currents. And you see a scroll case sticking out of the what's it called? Scroll case sticking out of the sand at the bottom, and a bandolier with 3 glass bottles tucked into it.
Yeet.
grab that in the scroll case.
Uh-huh.
I'd say you can fit the scroll case into your belt. You can throw the bandolier over your shoulder. And then you can grab one other thing for this return trip.
If I can take one other thing, I'll take the grappling hook.
Okay. So the silken robe is left to just float
Oh,
around.
no, I want the robe.
Okay. So you grab the rope, wrap that around your arms, and start to swim back up.
My God, I almost
Gaia,
left the robe and took a fucking grappling hook.
with
That
your,
sounds like,
what was
oh
it,
my
13?
God, really?
I just assumed I had that. I'm like, yep, that's one.
Gaia, you rolled a 13?
I rolled a 13.
Alright. You're having a much harder time. You're lucky that you can breathe underwater as well, because for you it just takes forever. And you realize that you've spent like 20 minutes, 30 minutes down below the surface of the water at this point. And haven't been able to find any intact cargo holds.
Just looking too deep.
And,
all this stuff is old.
and then you go up to as you're coming back up, you see the one that the rock dropped earlier in the day, called the Golden Executioner.
Ooh.
That's cool.
You swim
That
up
sounds
into that
terrifying.
one. You swim up into that one. And that one is fully upside down. Floating on the top of the waves. Kind of floating on the top of the waves. Completely upside down, so the masts are pointing down towards you as you're swimming up to it. And you swim up through the different levels of the ship. And you find the cargo hold completely upturned. And it's a mess. You see, like, copper pieces, silver pieces, gold pieces, platinum pieces just scattered everywhere. All sorts of different bits of cargo, like food, cloth, leather, just dashed and scattered everywhere. And looking through, you find a longsword. Let me look up a description for this real quick, because you're obviously going to take this. If I'm looking it up, it's obviously a magic item.
Obviously.
What? No.
I just want to know what it looks like. Why is it not giving me the D&D Beyond one? There we go. No, that's not the D&D Beyond
Fuck
one.
D&D Beyond.
Let's not get started about this.
Yeah, right.
T, how come these rings? I have the rings that you made us from Kingdom Come.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized, like, all of these are hard, but this one is squishy.
I don't know.
It's like rubbery.
There we go.
Really? See, now
Yeah.
Now I gotta look at mine.
I thought they were all the same, but this one is smooth and rubbery, and these other
Thought
ones
they
are kind
were
of...
too, to be honest with you.
So you see a black hilted longsword tucked into a wooden scabbard that seems to have some sort of hide or scaling on the outside as the protective outer layer. The hilt itself is inlaid with 2 gems, one at the crosspiece where the blade meets the hilt, and another at the pommel, both deep garnets, almost black with how dark they are, but glinting red whenever the light catches them. As well as a see, there's like bits of jewelry floating everywhere because like there's apparently a crate full of jewelry that was being transported just got broken open. So you see like across the entire ground a gold necklace, a platinum chain, a silver ring. So you can like grab a handful if you want, but nothing really stands out of all of them.
All right, yeah, I'll grab the sword and I'll pocket some change in like a little
Okay.
pouch.
Cool. So you all make it back onto the shore. And Milos, what did you bring with the first trip?
How many can I carry back on the first trip?
You can carry, I mean,
Obviously, I'd said I'd put the ring on already.
yep, you can grab the ring, and I'll say that you can grab like 2 other items.
Could you make it 3 if I put on that coat?
Sure, you throw on the coat, you'd have to leave the armor that you have behind.
That's fine,
But-
because this is an improvement, so...
Yeah, so you throw that coat on, you leave your old armor behind, you put the ring on, and you can grab 2 more items.
Then I would grab the rapier, and I'm torn, because the bow is super cool, but I think first trip I'd probably bring back the trident.
Okay, so trident and rapier. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Totally good at those. Yeah, not a problem. Oh, thank God, that's an 18 plus 1, 19.
Yeah. You manage to
I was
hold
very,
on.
very nervous.
As you're swimming, you notice that the rapier is sliding out of the scabbard. Just, ooh, nope. Push it back in, tuck it so that it's not going to slide out again, and just swim the rest of the way back up to the surface. And so you all get these piles back onto the shoreline. As the lament comes around the bend, and you see it cusp the cliffside coming up from the south, and you still have to get out to it somehow. But as the lament comes around the corner, you see people on the deck like waving to you as you come into view, but you hear the screech
Told him to be
from
careful.
above you. As the rock, you hear the and a gust, tornado-like gusts of wind start blowing across the beach. You all throw your hands up to shield your eyes as the giant bird above screeches
Hey, Merrick, now's the time to set off that giant flare again if you can.
and leaps up into the air, circling around above. As you realize the rock just saw its next meal present itself on its doorstep.
Oops.
And we will pick back up next time
For the execution of our entire crew.
with the resolution of this conundrum.
Couldn't come up with the V word there to bring full circle.
I
Disappointed.
couldn't, no, I'm sorry. But until next time, I've been your DM, Jeff Sitz.
Do we get to know what all this stuff is?
Not yet.
Later.
I'm just gonna Google it anyway.
But I've been your DM, Jeff Sitz.
Boser.
I'm here.
There we go.
T.
And y'all just keep geeking
Geeking
out.
out.
Take care.